Evening. Sorry, I had some little glitches. I couldn't join on time. Yeah.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Good
Not
evening.
a problem, sir.
Good.
Team, let us know if we are good to begin with the meeting.
Sure.
Hello and a very good evening to all the panelists, members of the faculty, and to all the students present here in the meeting. You know, when on the night of July 20th, 1969, when Commander Neil Armstrong landed on the moon from his Apollo lunar module Eagle, with his first step on the surface, he declared a statement that one small step for a man is one giant leap for mankind. Although that greatness is incomparable in the real sense, but figuratively, this event, Uddyamvritti, is that one small step for us to connect and learn from the entrepreneurs and the leaders connected with the startup and understand the ideas that get implemented and know from them the whys and the hows. We have with us in the panel Mr. Sunny Vaghela, who is the founder and CEO at TechDefence Labs. Mr. Sunny has more than 9 years of experience in IT and information security and has been primarily involved in analyzing the risks associated with the businesses. His organization aids many companies across the globe to secure their web and mobile applications using latest scanning technologies, methodologies, and deep expertise. We are also joined by Ms. Asmita Khobragade, who is the co-founder and the chief technical officer, or as she is often referred to as the technology Didi in the organization Farm Didi, that aims at providing healthy, authentic, and natural food for consumers by enabling 1 million rural women. Her and her team have put their efforts in the field of technology towards empowering them. Also, we have with us Mr. Subhobroto Chakroborty, who is the founder and the chief digital consultant at thedigitalfellow.com that aims to power the digital transformation of companies. Mr. Subhobroto has been a brand communication specialist for more than 24 years, and with his cross-industry experience, he has successfully launched and managed more than 30 top national and international brands in several industries. He is also an author and was a keynote speaker at the Global Digital Marketing Summit and a presenter at the India Entrepreneurs Club. We are lucky to have you all, sir and ma'am. The session will be moderated by Surat Banerjee, who is my fellow batchmate at KJ Somaiya and my friend, and a curious marketing enthusiast. The entire session is organized by the Guest Lectures Committee in association with the Public Relations and Branding Committee, KJ Somaiya Institute of Management, under the guidance of Mr. Satyendra Kumar Upadhyay, who is the Director of International Relations. Now, the participants are requested to please stay on mute as we begin with this interesting and insightful session, advancing towards learning something new in the arena of digital innovations and the creation of business strategy. Over to you, Surat.
Thank you so much, Yash. Very good evening to all our participants and our panelists. Good evening, Asmita ma'am. Good evening, Sunny sir. Good evening, Subhobroto sir. Now to start with the topic, digital innovation and creation of business strategies. Now, digital is one word, innovation is another word, and when we combine it, it becomes a completely new dimension in itself. And with the changing consumer behavior, the changing consumer perceptions, we know what shift, what disruption digital strategy has brought to the business arena. For instance, let me give you an example. 15 years before, if you wanted to buy vegetables, you would look outside the door or the window if the shop was open. Now you look at your phone. If you are hungry, we used to go to the restaurants to have some food. Now we look at our phone. For every look and look, we look at our phone. Digital has created a new business landscape in itself. So I would like Subhobroto sir to throw some light as his role and as his duty and as his organization, the Digital Fellow helps other business organizations to bring in digital transformation. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay. See, I've been consulting over last around 5 years. So what I saw, there's a typical, the common issue, or what I saw, the common threads of problem which I saw across all type of industries I've managed so far. I've managed more than around 35 to 40 types of industries. So more than 120 individual brands, petroleum, jewelry, car, automobiles, furniture, garments, textile, FMCG, durables, telecom, digital product. What I saw, there's a huge common. If I put all the problems or the commonalities of the issues which I saw on the digital, the few things which I observe, which is applicable to all mistakes. I have seen more flops. I have seen more failures. I can smell where all the first 20 things which can go wrong. The first problem what I saw in digital is that I have been teaching across around more than 65 business school in India. I've been a faculty for the last 5 years in IIM Indore, Kashipur. I am Kashipur. I've been also lecturer in Nasimunji, KJ Somaiya. I also been there. So almost 60 business schools I have been teaching. What I realize, most of the business school doesn't have a pure digital fundamental, course curriculum, which leads to most of the business. I'm not talking about KJ Soma, I'm talking about because I will not know your presence curriculum. The germination of the problem starts from here. The industry's problem starts from here because there's not much of proper digital education system in our entire academic system. If the person is doing a 2-year MBA, which is around 600, 700 days, he's only been exposed to digital for 15 days, where some digital industry guys will come and he will talk. So it's a workshops. Generally, these are all smaller workshops. These are smaller workshops which a students goes through. So the school student has been giving a very preliminary level of digital know-how, but that's not pure digital. When they come out from the few digital courses from here and there, persona, they don't understand research, buyer's journey, they don't understand content marketing. They all understand posting something on social media is digital. Hence, all the major big brands I manage, most of their big brands, multinational, I'm talking about 5,000 crore, 1,000 crore, 2,000 crore big companies. The team itself is irrelevant. The entire team is absolutely nonsense. They don't understand anything of digital, but they have a very nice, sexy, beautiful designation on their chest. Digital marketeer, digital strategies, brand strategies, but most of them doesn't understand anything of digital. Okay, so this is the problem what I saw across India. So wrong people goes to a wrong with and these designations are very, very, very tricky, because I'm not talking about one. I'm talking about Bombay. I've been consulting in Bombay, Bangalore, Kolkata, Chennai, Tamil Nadu, Rajasthan, Orissa, Surat, Ahmedabad, Mizoram, Shiliguri. Across India, I've been consulting. More than 120 is a very large number. We're very different. So they all have same problem. The team itself is incompetent. Team doesn't know digital at all. And that is the reason they end up doing mistakes. They end up hiring and firing agencies after agency, and you never get result. So this is the big problem, where the main top guy, the marketing director, hire, and they never coach. There's not of education. There's not of coaching. There's not of digital training. Everybody wants to sell on digital. I think that's the reason I saw majorly all failures have all these common mistakes, these problems. This is point one. So this is what I saw across so many industries. That is the reason I think digitally India is very, very, far beyond, what we are talking about. Right now we are talking about Bitcoin. Right now we are talking about, AI and all those stuff, but we are far away from it. only less than 1%. If you break the Indian ecosystem of industry ecosystem, which is in the form of a triangle, the top part are like Pepsi's, Hindustan Lever, Infosys, ITCs of the world, Pepsi's, Coca-Cola's, and the big brands. Like these are the people who understand digital. These are the people hired the top digital expert, and most the lower bottom, or the in the middle of the triangle, which is the SMEs of which is the backbone of Indian GDP, which is SME. Most of them have incompetent, irrelevant, unskilled digital marketer. I've also seen many. I don't want to name. I have been consulting a lot of business school. The business school digital marketer is a IT guy. So someone who knows IT, people think he's a digital marketer. So most of the IT department senior people has been given the role to drive digital, who have no understanding how digital works. So this is the reason wrong people in the wrong shoe, taking wrong decision, taking the brands, and that's the reason less than 1% is success. Majorly will find lot of failures. And every young people think that he's a startup guru. He can watch 5 videos and 20 YouTube, and he can be a great startup. Everybody thinks startup is a very cool thing, and it's very easy, it's a very fun thing, and you can make money, and you can get $100 billion of valuation. No one thinks long term. No one understands the fundamental. No one is reading or educating themselves regularly. They all are chasing that I want a quick success, just the way you want some quick follows on TikTok, and that's the reason the people are looking for Instagram followers. They want quick success and quick recognition, and quick, they want to be famous, and that's the reason we fail, and that's the reason India is failing digitally. So most of the strategy, your today's topic is all about business strategy. Most of the digital marketeers don't understand digital strategy. Digital comes at a very later stage. See, I also come from a non-digital background. I am also 45 plus. I also come from non-digital background. So if your fundamentals of marketing is not clear, if your fundamentals of marketing is not clear, if you don't understand buyer persona, research, algorithms, if you don't understand how digital your marketing works, different models of marketing, Alri's marketing, what are the models of a brand model, articulation of architecture. If you don't understand all these things, if you try to put a layer of digital on it, you will fail. And that's the reason 99% of the of the type of business who try digital, they fail. So that's my first feedback. Over to you.
Thank you so much, sir, for shedding light. And in essence, what we gather is digital is not just a pipeline, it is a huge ocean in itself. And understanding that ocean requires deep diving, swimming, and knowing. Now, gathering this insight and going ahead, I would like to ask Asmita ma'am. Asmita ma'am, who has her own business, Farm Didi, a product-based business, and with a direct-to-consumer model. I would like to ask Asmita ma'am 2 questions. First is that the problems which have been identified by Subhobroto sir, how much are they affecting the digital strategy followed by Farm Didi? And secondly, does digital itself become a strategy or does it become an enabler? From your perspective, Asmita ma'am, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Saurav. I'm audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Yeah. As Subhobroto has rightly said, we are having our own digital marketing strategy team, and they do work on all the new upcoming products or the brand strategy, how we are going to propose it in front of our consumers. So our startup is quite new. We have done some very good research because our organization, Farm Didi, itself is very unique. We are trying to provide, our vision is to provide healthy, authentic and natural food to our consumers by enabling 1 million rural women. So here we are actually trying to work on a ground level along with the rural women and getting their food products to the urban area, so that both the needs get satisfied. The urban people would get the healthy and natural homemade food, and the rural women would also get their business. Having said that, we have started a research last year, and we did some very good 6 odd months research. Our team actually went to the rural village and stayed with them and tried to understand what exactly the problems are, technology-wise, ground level-wise, business-wise, marketing-wise, and we got a lot of very good insights. After doing the whole research, we updated our business model, and then we actually started getting, after doing some pilot products for a couple of products, and then we got started in last August. So technically, we have completed 5 months. We, as in the market today, people start with digital marketing. So did we. We started 5 months back. Along with how we got the products, we started our digital marketing as well. And slowly we realized, as Subhobroto rightly said, only digital market doesn't help. So we really have to do some groundwork on the sales part as well. So what we did is we actually physically started having our products on the different stalls in different exhibitions where the consumers actually can come and taste and try our products, because we know that our products are homemade products, and those products will only get sold until the consumers will actually taste them. These products are very healthy. So once consumers comes and they actually try and taste the products, they get to know the importance, the goodness of the homemade fresh food, and that is how they start getting and buying those products. Once they come to our stalls, we also give them coupons and our coupons for our website where they can go online and can buy the product. So our selling strategy, our sales strategy is combination of both digital. We are there on digital medias, we are on all the digital social medias, and we are doing our brand marketing out there. But along with that, we are also making a good importance, a good presence physically in front of our consumers, so that they actually can taste, can smell, can know our freshly made food products. So I would say this would be a combination for us. Being a FMCG company, we cannot only just go by digital innovation, we have to be present physically as well. But today, none of the organization can stand without digital innovation and adding the technology to their business strategy. So our organization would definitely lead technology as well in coming time. Over to you, Saurabh.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was very insightful, and we could understand the real-life applications of what Subhobroto sir explained. Now, another very new area which has come up in this discussion is that, as Subhobroto sir mentioned, the top-notch companies, the likes of HUL, ITC, and every top-notch company, and along with that, new startups, everybody is acquiring a digital strategy. And in the backdrop, we know we as consumers also use internet regularly. And that internet usage generates terabytes and trillions of data. With all that data, and along with that business data, business intelligence information, like as Asmita ma'am mentioned, the product numbers, what kinds of products do we sell in retail, how do we sell them in digital, creates information. And with the information comes the aspect of security. So the security aspect is what every business has to take care of a lot. In this current age with cyber innovation, the flip side is cybercrime. The flip side is information loss. And now businesses have a new capital, the information capital. The information which have Zomato's, Amazon, they have tons and tons of information on user behavior, and that is all in the form of data, which is accessible on the internet. So here, regarding information security and how that aspect comes into play and what the care and protection needs to be taken, I would like to ask Sunny sir to shed some light on this. Over to you.
So I think you pointed out one of the very major pain point which most of the organizations are actually not taking so seriously, because so I'm into the cybersecurity for almost like 10 years, and the very interesting service that we provide is to tell the organizations what are the loopholes, what are the problems, what they have into their applications, into their infrastructure, and so what are the security loopholes they have. and how the data can be leaked out, or how the data breach can happen within 5 seconds of the time. So almost you could say that my sales and marketing team are always busy to so because our business runs on the fear psyche, right? So they're always busy creating that fear, amongst the startup founders or the enterprise founders or the C-level executives, you could say that. But one of the things that I have observed, when I talk to almost all the decision makers and the C-level executives talking about, hey, you have a very important data, right? You have been collecting important data, where I could see that there are no concerns which are being taken care of, provided India does not have a privacy law, which is coming in the next, this winter session itself. So there are some couple of questions as what we ask, what they do about securing the data. Interestingly, what I get to hear from everybody, is like we have everything which is on Amazon, so Amazon is taking care of it. So that is something, one of the biggest misconceptions. Second biggest misconception, that I have firewall, which is protecting my data. As far as the endpoints are concerned and as far as the computers are concerned, we have the antiviruses installed onto everybody's system, which is securing our systems. And third, and the most important thing is we have bought an SSL, which is HTTPS. So you could go and look at our website, which is completely secured. But on the other end, when we talk about the hacker's perspective, all these three, the security controls, become misconceptions when you take their perspective. So mostly the developers, mostly the people who develop their applications, they does not have a know-how of the security. Or rather, I would say that the founders are so busy creating the ideas, or implementing the ideas, or changing the ideas, or the process is so agile in the or the development process is so agile in the organization, that most of the people, they do not look after or do not take the security into the consideration, right? Or rather, I would say that 99% of the organizations are just following the traditional SDLC, but security never comes into a picture, right? So secure software development lifecycle is never going to be there in any of the innovations that you actually talk about, and that's where the problem comes. That's where some of the startups who are raising funds, some of the enterprises who are actually making noise in the market, they are getting breached, or the 0 days are actually getting discovered on the day second. And ultimately, who needs to suffer? The organizations. And at the same point of time, the consumer whose data is out in the market has to suffer. So this is the one aspect that I believe that every founder, or every or you can say that startup founder, should actually take into the consideration from the day one. Many a times, we have been talking to people who have been making into the unicorn list also in 3 to 4 years of the time. But what we get from them is, I think we are not at a state that we need to have this much of investment into the security, because security investments are also not a low investment. So every time, most of the C-level executives or the founders, they trying to see the return on investment on the security investments. So this is another thing that everybody needs to understand, that security does not give the return on investment in terms of getting money back, but ultimately what you get is a peace of mind, right? What you get is the sense of security, saying that, or feeling that, yes, I'm secured. I do have people who are actually finding out problems. I do have people who are actually proactively monitoring my systems, right? So this is the aspect which has become a boardroom level concern. But trust me, when it comes to the board meetings also, right, this is just a one slide presentation on the security to understand what is our posture and where we need to go. So India is still far lagging behind the cybersecurity. The only reason behind that, that people or the C-level executives or the people who are sitting at the senior level, they're not taking this very much seriously, number one. On the other side, if you see, the other markets, right, apart from India, cybersecurity has been taken as one of the major concern, and it is being talked at a senior level very seriously. Now, if you look at, they are on crowd outsource website, they open their websites for a crowd, and you'll be surprised to know this. The number of hackers who are hacking into their websites, who are finding out problems into their websites, are actually based out of only one country, and that is India. So India has the highest number of hackers. India has the highest number of bug bounty hunters who are making good amount of money, reporting the loopholes into the overseas websites and getting money from abroad to India. But imagine if we talk about the rankings of cybersecurity of India, we are coming at 179 position. And when you look at the World Economic Forum report, the number of data breaches or the number of data leaks that are happening across the world, we are actually topping the list for last almost 3 years. So this is exactly the difference. So we have people, we have talent, the whole world is using this talent to secure themselves, and ultimately we are not secured, and we are not actually taking security as one of the aspects. So one thing, while we are innovating something, so the coming to the context of this, digital innovation and the business strategy. So I believe the security should be one of the strategies that has to be implemented while you are innovating something. No matter you are making n number of business strategies to promote your business, get some more funding, get some more subscriber. But if security by design is not there, then no matter how many times you do an attrition of your product or create a new product or launch a new versions of the product or change your website, change your platform, or change anything, that you have in your innovation, is actually not going to work, because ultimately the data, which is there is actually not secure. And another misconception is that every founder should actually, look into it, that when you host your data on AWS, or when you host your data on Azure, or when you host your data on, any of the public cloud provider, please do not rely on them, or do not ever think that, I am hosted on some of the best cloud provider and my data is secured, my innovation is secured, which is never, going to happen, because they are just the service provider, providing you space, providing you the power, providing you the, the compute power, and they are actually making your innovation work on the digital platform. So I think, security should be taught. Security should be taught from the day one. Security should incorporate it from a design itself, right? So it is like, you are having a child of 1 year and you are actually asking him that, okay, fine, I will teach you how to walk, maybe when you turn 5, right? No, you actually start teaching him from the day one itself, so that he'll start walking, or start making a baby foot, from the 6 months onwards itself. So I think security should also be like that. You need to incorporate security from the development life cycle. You need to incorporate security, or teach your people about the security. It's not just that, developers are making the product secure, innovation secure, and then we are secure. You need to actually educate your people also who are in the company, because people are being weakest link in the cybersecurity. People are also being targeted. And you also need to get the knowledge of cybersecurity, in order to ensure that you have the secured, product, in order to ensure that you have a secured innovation. Yeah. So that's all from my side. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Completely new direction to today's discussion has come up. Now, I would like to ask Subhobroto, sir, as a learning business students, and as in our discussion today, many business aspirants are here present, as he pointed out a very pain point regarding digital being an ocean and not just a pipeline. I would like to ask Subhobroto, sir, to share some points, share some beginning tips for us budding MBAs who in future can have the potential to be business leaders, on what are the do's and don'ts when we are starting to go digital for any business. Sir, you're on mute. Kindly. Yeah.
Yes, sorry. It's a very interesting question. So I think this is what I do daily in my company. I teach, I train people, and that's the reason I think many people, many interns who come and work with us, we train them for a few months, and then we pick up the best of the boys and we hire them. So one thing I realized when I started this consulting, because I was contemplating, should I do a digital agency or should I do a digital consulting business? I spent around 25 years from the brand side. I've been a marketeer, CMO, brand manager, brand executive all my life. Okay, around 25 years. Launched Coke in India, Reliance in India, ICICI Bank, home loan, National Stock Exchange, television industry, market automation industry. I've been working in India as well, 9 more other countries. So I was stationed globally. I was working global was a market. I was stationed primarily from the Bombay. But last 20 years I'm in Bombay, but I've worked in all across all India. What I realize is today's kids, the biggest problem I realize is that before they want to learn things very quickly. That's a good thing, but they're absolutely impatient. So this becomes a big disaster for learning. Anything you want to learn, it takes time. Anything you want to get into a deeper thing, it takes time. So today's kids are impatient. So when I was talking, I still remember I was giving my session at XIMB Bhubaneswar. So first thing they want to know, sir, we want to learn Facebook campaign. I said, no, I will not teach you Facebook campaign because Facebook campaign, as per the schedule, it's on the second day. If you don't know research, if you don't know buyer persona, if you don't know buyer journey, if you don't know content marketing, if you don't know content funnel, if you don't understand content and sales funnel, if you don't understand all these things, then comes social media. Within social media, it's Facebook, and within Facebook is campaign, and within campaign there are different types of campaign. So it takes time. You have to wait. So they were little. So what I realize still also, most of the kids are, you don't know what you should have in the morning, what you should have in the afternoon, and what you should have in the dinner. They're all foods, but when you take, there are specific time to do it. So you should be ready to get into that level. Before that, you should do a lot of other exercises. First thing, as a student, what you should do to become, forget about getting into digital. Question yourself, are you actually a digital person? Do you read, breathe digital? Do you go to restaurant, take picture, put it on Instagram? Do you do that? All do, everybody do, which I know. But do you do the effort of doing a research on hashtag? Have you asked yourself, okay, before taking pictures, fine, I've used filter, fine, I've spent 5 minutes, picking the right picture, and then I post it on Instagram, okay, so that I look good or my food look good. But have I taken the extra care to figure out what hashtag should be used? Okay, let me understand what is different types of hashtag. There are primary hashtags, tertiary hashtag, secondary hashtag, niche hashtag, local hashtag. Do you know this? Have you ever asked yourself that let us learn, then I will try to use my hashtag also correctly, the way I take a picture. Everybody is into selfie, but do you actually you only know how to use filter, because filter is the quick thing. But when you post a content, your content will never get found. Do you know that Google is blind? Google cannot figure out who you are. Google cannot figure out if you put two image, apple or orange or a banana or a pineapple. Google cannot figure out what is that till the time you put a small code which is called alt text, so that Google can only read the text. So most of the picture which you upload are not discovered by Google. Okay. So if your content is not discovered by Google, how hard you do, how beautiful you look, how great shots you take, Google will never find you. So the most important part of learning is that you should follow someone on social media. You should. How many stalwarts do you follow? Do you follow Gary Vee? Do you follow Casey Neistat? Do you follow this guy Gary Vee? I think is enough. If you do, you follow Simon Sinek? If you follow, do you follow some stalwart? Do you read their content? Do you are you an avid reader on LinkedIn? Do you use LinkedIn the way you use your Facebook? Do you spend a lot of time reading? If you're not reading, God will help you, will not able to understand digital. Digital every 6 months changes, the rule changes, algorithm changes, process changes, the way usage changes, new icons come, the UI changes, UX changes, everything changes every 3 months or 6 months time. So most of your digital habit cannot be adapted if you're not behaving digital. Just putting Instagram will not help you. Do you read blogs? What blogs do you follow? Which are the blogs you are a regular visitor? Do you subscribe to these blogs? Do you go and read what is happening in the digital world? If you're not reading every day, not monthly, weekly, or sometime, every single day, you will be thrown out of digital and you will not know. You will lose your job, you will lose your assignment, you will fail, your strategy will not work, because digital is absolutely dynamic. I behave like a student. I don't behave like a digital expert. I think I am a student. I know many things. I don't know many things of digital. So I am a fear of reading every day. If you can see, while I was talking to you, I was actually working on the meat industry. I was working on the meat industry, how the meat industry works. I was actually going through research of how meat industry works. So if you are not, I'll show you 1 second so that you get a hang of it, because digital is not just a relaxation time. I was trying to do research on the how in meat industry work. One of the consultant brand which is coming to me, who is into goat meat, I was trying to figure out what is the industry of the goat, what is the size of the industry, what Deloitte is talking, what KPMG is talking, what is the export numbers coming. These you should be very deep dive up. It's called T marketing. It's called T marketing. You have to go deeper. Just hovering around Facebook, just hovering around Instagram and posting pictures, or mostly selfies, okay, or food or whatever, it will not help you. Okay, digital, you will, someone smarter will come and will challenge your seat or throne or your chair. You will lose job. I've seen people losing jobs more. Success is fast in digital, failure is fast in digital. You fail very fast, you get exposed very fast. So if you don't manage your own digital asset properly to the perfect level, how hard you try, you will not able to learn digital. Because in your job, when you get into a job, you will never get a second chance or a third chance. Company will give you a problem and they want you to solve it. At that time when they're giving a problem, you cannot Google and do learn and then execute. You will not get that time. So learning every day is must. Following stalwarts are must. Following influencers are must. Reading every day is important. Read LinkedIn post content every day. Read Social Media Examiner. Read HubSpot blogs, HubSpot Academy blogs. Do certification exam of HubSpot Academy. It's free. Do all the courses of Google, which are 7 courses available on Google. It's all free. You should be constantly an enthusiast to learn. If you are not a learner, if you don't behave like a learner, rest of your life, how hard you try, whatever great jobs you take or you get on the campus, you're going to lose it. People will fire you because you become obsolete in digital in 6 months' time. In a traditional world, you can still hold on to your job for 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 years, not knowing upgrading yourself much. In digital, people will throw you in 6 months' time because you will fail all the time. So learning is the only thing, upgrading is the only thing, following blogs, regular blogs, articles, and all these are discovered on Instagram. Instagram, as well as you can also go to LinkedIn. You can get into Quora. You can get into LinkedIn article. You can get into Twitter. Do you go and search content on Twitter? Please go to Twitter and search digital news, digital marketing news, digital trend. If you go to Twitter, with the help of Twitter, you will able to search many content which is not discovered by Google faster. So this is how you should search. You should not search everything on Google. You can actually search it on Quora. You can search it on Twitter. You can search it on LinkedIn. You can search it on the different articles which come within. So there are a lot of hyperlinks within the article. Imagine you got one article about digital marketing and there are a lot of hyperlinks. Do you actually click all the hyperlinks, go to the source of the hyperlinks, and then read that content also? So you have to be an avid reader. 30% of the time he should read every day. Otherwise, digital opportunity will come and challenge you, and you will not able to do it, and you will lose your job. That's it.
So what we understand from what Subhobroto said is business is one universe and digital is another universe. Digital in business is creating a combination, but it is not like business is at the core and digital is revolving around. Digital is a different universe in itself. The the planets from that universe, which planets will be good for business, needs to be taken care of. And for that understanding, we need to get to the core of the digital universe as well. We need to read, we need to learn. My question to Asmita ma'am would be along the same lines. Asmita ma'am, as you are a current business leader and you are piloting a very innovative initiative which is known as Didi, would like to ask you, does digital become a part of the business core competence, or digital can be an enabler in that core competence? Or to simplify my question, yes, digital itself is a strategy, or digital is an enabler of the strategy. And as you mentioned, the beginning of FarmBD's journey was all online, but now the retail outlets have also started coming up to gain more consumer insights and to increase consumer reach. So, in the backdrop of this development, I would like to ask you the question.
Thank you for this question. It actually covers the whole business model of the FarmDidi. For that, I would like to tell you, like, FarmDidi has a unique proposition for our consumers who are like consuming food products. It's not only that, we are actually working with the rural women. We call them Didis, and we procure our food products for them. So when we talk about technology and technology along with FarmDidi, we have to think both the sides of it, our supply side and our demand side. So during the inception of FarmDidi, we actually created a supply management mobile app, and we actually tried to get with these rural women and try to get this technology to them. This was during our research period. And slowly when we came into the market, we realized that our focus should be more on sales, should be more on operations, so that we should capture more and more market. And for that, we realized that now how the technology we can use for both the sides, both for the sales and both for the supply side as well. So we have quite more number of opportunities where we actually used digital innovation. So we have our own website, which is developed by our own IT team. Then we have a supply side management app as well, which we would further work on for the quality of the products, where we see how more the quality can be used, can be done on the products which we are procuring, because you know that when we are procuring the food products from the rural area, our main thinking is whether it is really hygienically clean, whether it is really good, does it have any preservatives, or is it naturally made or not. So many things are there which we really should be done on the quality side. So all this comes under the supply app, where we have to work upon and see how we can improve the quality of these products. And when we come to the sales part, we also have to do the inventory management. For that as well, we are using our mobile app, and we also have to do CRM and HRIS, which is also where technology comes into the picture. Again, for the digital marketing, we are using different social media. So when we consider our FarmDidi business, we have to see how we can go from the ground level, where we're actually procuring products from the rural women, and till the time it actually reaches to the consumer. So the whole process, we are very new to we are very in the early stages of our business. So we are identifying the processes, we are identifying the situations where we can actually work on the technology side, how technology can be taken into the at which part, and how it can help us more in the business, so that it can be more organized. So when we take this app to the rural women as well, there we make sure that, okay, this business is helping, this app is helping them to become more organized in their businesses, and which actually help us in making our operations optimized. So if you see Farm Didi, though it is FMCG company, we always wanted to be a technology-led company. And we also have to our mission, one of the mission statement as to get the technology into the work where we can optimize our operations. So this is how we are trying to get the technology from end-to-end process of the farming.
Thank you, ma'am. So what we understand is that digital and core business unit, core competencies can work in a perfect resonance. And that resonance is what becomes the strategy. And that strategy is what goes ahead in the business. Now, I would like to ask Sunny sir that we are knowing so much about digital innovation. We are knowing so much about uh, how to enable digital innovation efficiently in a business and how to go into the details. But whenever we talk about digital and whenever we talk about every nitty-gritty and intricacies of it, there is data. So I would like to know about how information security plays role in the very digital arena in every step. As Asmita ma'am mentioned, procurement, sales, and the other business information systems. And as Subhobroto sir said, every digital tool, every digital hashtag, and the information that the consumers and businesses get. Where does security, where does the aspect of security come there?
So, so coming to the information security, as I said before, that it should start or it should incorporate from the design itself, right? So from the day when you decide to create a first documentation of your software or your product, or once you have even that idea in your mind, you need to even think of, you need to think it on a reverse side, that where if I'll be at a stage where I will have 5 million subscriber, right? So what all things or what all features of my product will be providing, what all data that I'll be collecting, and how I'll be storing that data, controlling that data, processing that data. So if you would ask that question to yourself, then you yourself will get the answers to all that question. That okay, fine, I need to first get the security to my system. I need to get security to my website. I need to do the security for my product. So that is the one aspect of it. Second is, I'll give a very interesting example. So we, apart from the information security, we have a different kind of testing which are revolving around this information security, known as a business logic testing, or a business flaw testing, or a product security testing. So when we talk about this product or your digital innovation testing, we can call it to be. So we go and we check the product not only from a security perspective, but we even try to find out a flaw in your business logic, in your business laws. And one of the products that I could not name it is a client product. So they were having a question that Mr. Vaghela, we were consistently spending a lot of money into our digital marketing, into our e-commerce ads, into a lot of other things. But the problem is, like, for last almost 6 months of the time, we have been observing that our audience is falling. The number of subscribers have increased who are coming to our website, or the number of people who are coming to our website has increased, but ultimately, the sell has decreased. So what we have done is, when we take this product security into a feature, we check each logic of that, product, and how that business logic is actually going to impact even the user experience, even the the security experience of that person. And interestingly, we identified a problem that this is exactly the problem in your product, and this is not the business logic. I mean, this should not be the way you should implement a business logic for this particular feature, and you need to change that particular feature in this way, and we will trust you, or will give you the confidence that you'll get the good number of people who are actually going to subscribe for this particular product. Or if whenever you are coming up with any kind of a sell or any kind of offers on your website, we are 100% sure that people will taken advantage of it. So coming back to the question is, so you need to think the security even while implementing any kind of a business logic into your product itself. So it is not just a security aspect, but it is like more like you can call it to be a product, business logic aspect. So you need to start sitting with security experts. And you see, nowadays I'm not talking about companies like us or the big fours or KPMGs or EY who are also into cybersecurity. But you could actually find out what are the people who are in your network who has a knowledge of cybersecurity, right? And who are from college, who are actually certified ethical hackers. You sit with them, you talk to them, you tell them, hey, this is what I'm making, but do you really see any value of this feature? Do you really see any security flaw in this feature? And trust me, nowadays, even in my company, I do have a lot of interns who are able to find out one of the major problems, or you can say that the critical problems into somebody's product, and even 5 years, 7 years guys in my firm are not able to find those problems into somebody's website. So people or the youngsters have those creativity, while finding out the bugs, even in your business logic, even in your product logic. So sit with them, talk to them, discuss about your product ideas, open to, accept, that yes, we have committed some mistake and, make some changes onto your product. Second is, while a lot of founders, they are not taking seriously, I mean, security is very seriously, but they are not even taking hackers also very seriously. Now, one of the example I can give you is of a Yahoo, that one of the hacker was trying to report a problem to Yahoo for consistently 4 years. First year, they've offered him a t-shirt. Second year, they've offered him $1,000 bounty. Third year, they've offered him around $5,000 bounty. In fact, the problem what that guy was having is access to 3 billion data of a Yahoo user. Imagine, because of that, the issue that was persisting on the Yahoo website has not been taken care of by the Yahoo team very seriously. The valuation of the Yahoo has gone down from almost 44 billion US dollar to 4.6 billion US dollar. And imagine, it got sold out in 4 billion US dollar only. Even though they were the veteran in the email industry, they were the first one to start giving the email services. So imagine that security is playing very important role even in your valuations also. And nowadays, I have seen that a lot of investor firms, even before investing into a firm, what they ask for is the security reports. What they ask for is the VAPT reports, that I wanted to know what are the security controls that you are implementing onto your systems. And I've also seen a lot of examples where investors have put in the money and then the first check, is given to them, right? And if there is a security breach, I've seen that they are backing out from that investment into the firm also. So I believe that security is one of the aspects should be taken care of from the design, should be taken care of very seriously, and should be taken care of, or hackers should be taken care of, very seriously also. So otherwise, what founders are doing nowadays is somebody is approaching them on LinkedIn and trying to report a problem into their product, or try to, tell them, hey, I can help you with your product. You don't need to pay me anything. What they eventually do is they sometimes eventually ended up sending him a legal notice saying that, who has given you a permission to test my website? I am the, so you don't need to keep that attitude, right? You need to be open. You need to invite ideas from the security experts, and that's how you can make things more secure.
So what we understand, sir, is that security, as you said in the previous part of this discussion too, security should be a part of strategy, and security itself becomes an insight on product development as well, and at large valuation. So from your experience, we would like to know, in the current business scenario for India, at what stage of the business are businesses becoming more concerned about security?
Either they are at a valuation of around 100 million US dollar. They feel that, okay, fine, I should need to incorporate a security, right? Or rather, I would answer your question in a different way. So I always talk to my salespeople at,
there are three categories of the people in India who are looking for security. One is those who are already hacked. Second, those who are having a mandate. So all the public limited companies, they have a mandate, right? Banks have a mandate from RBI, stockbrokers have a mandate from SEBI, public limited companies have a mandate from NCIPC, right? So those are the people who are actually, taking security or this, incorporating cybersecurity into their organizations. And the third kind of a people, those who are actually having a fear of getting hacked. So that means, some hacker has approached them saying that, hey, I have some screenshots to share with you, and then the fear is created. So those are the kind of three categories of the people they take the security. And ideally, to answer your question, to give the exact answer to your question, so people are generally even getting their assessments done while they are 100 million US dollar, or or they are pitching their product or pitching their innovations to certain of the company, and they ask us to do the security. So, but it should not be there. So, India should need a fourth category, that security is my responsibility. Security should be, our responsibility, and we need to do the security from the beginning. So I think that fourth category is missing in this day, right? If it would be created, will be great. And that is the reason I would like to, divert little from the question that is asked. So India is coming up with the data protection bill, because generally क्या होता है कि इंडिया में जब तक किसी को penalties नहीं दी जाती, right? Until unless you've not been penalized, right? You don't do that. Like government was having a very less penalties on the traffic signal, and people were not following it. People were easily breaking it, right? But when they started getting those cameras on the traffic signals, and the penalties have increased exponentially, to 1,000, 5,000 rupees, people eventually stopped at the traffic signal itself. The same is actually going to happen in India in coming 2 to 3 months. So we are getting a data protection bill, which says that if you're taking the data from the people, right, no matter whatever your size of the organization is, you're a startup or enterprise or SME, it is your responsibility to store the data securely and handle the data securely. So there should not be any misuse of that data, right? And you need to follow the reasonable security control. So this is a mandate that is coming at all the levels, for startups, for SMEs, for enterprises, that you need to do the reasonable security. So there are some, 20, 30 things they have mentioned into those reasonable security controls. And if you don't do that, right, so this is very interesting for companies like us and cybersecurity industry people. If you don't do that and you got hacked, right, then first is you need to give a public notifications to everybody saying that we are hacked, right? So you need to publish in the newspaper, you need to put it on your website also that we are breached. And ultimately imagine that if something of this sort could happen, the reputation will be damaged like that. So people will start eventually investing into security. The story doesn't end here. You need to publicize this information that we have breached, what amount of data that is breached, how it is breached, who has breached, right? What is the loss your company has made? Every information should be there on the public domain. That is one. Second is, because government has asked you to do the reasonable security controls and you haven't done that. So there are some penalty, the categories are defined. If it is a startup, the penalty will be around 10 lakh rupees. It can go up to 5 crore rupees. And if it is an enterprise company having a turnover of more than 500 crore, then the penalty will be 2% of your global turnover also. So imagine such kind of penalties are actually going to come in India. So I'm sure that would make this security, as one of the thought process, from the day one in everybody's mind. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. That was very insightful. Dealing with security, dealing with digital, and dealing with business strategy, and the combination of digital, as mentioned by Asmita ma'am, as mentioned by Khobragade sir, and the security part covered by Sunny sir. I would like to ask Subhobroto sir, is that, as I mentioned before, business is one universe, digital is another universe. At the organizational level, how can a perfect sync, a perfect resonance be brought about between the digital strategy and the business strategy? and how that sync will happen. For instance, does a digital person need to know business at the core, or does the digital person just need to know business at the initial level and only need to know digital, and vice versa? Does a business person who's into business need to know digital at the core, or does the person need to know it at a preliminary level? And what is required for the sync to happen at organizational levels? Because we see in many cases it happens that digital team and the business team often they end up working in silos, and often both of their uh, what would I like to say, the immediate targets are quite differing. So please shed light on this aspect, sir.
Very, very interesting and very relevant question. I see this every year, every month, every day, every week. First of all, let me clear this myth. If you don't understand branding, rules of principles of marketing, rules of business, digital will not help you. Digital is just a platform. It's a plate. What you should know how to cook. You should, maybe you're sometimes using a glass plate, or sometimes you're using an iron plate. So digital is just a platform. But the rules of marketing, the rules of business, the rules of branding, the rules of doing business doesn't change. So you have to, if you really want to be a digital brand strategist, so first you have to be a business strategist. If you don't understand business, 4 P's of marketing, 7 P's of marketing, distribution, logistics, sales and marketing, coordination between inter teams, these will give value, understanding customer, doing customer research, doing logistics, distribution at a very ground level. If you don't have this thing exposed to you, you will do everything wrong on digital. Digital is not something great, only the great gods can do that. Digital is only a piece of a process. It's a technological process. Even if you are not a very arrived technology, because in fact, just now the other speaker was talking, enlightening me. In fact, I also came to new. I learned a lot of things from his session of cybersecurity. Believe me, I was actually learning. Here I may be joined in this platform as one of the speaker, but I was a student for the last 10 to 12 minutes when Madam and cybersecurity things was talking about how they manage business, penalties, other things, rules, laws, policies coming, right? So you have to be a learner, number one. You have to be a business. You should understand business first. Your Philip Kotler will not vanish. Your Philip Kotler himself, after that person is 80-year-old, he himself have rewritten his book. Again, the marketing book which we have gone in for MBA days is right now a 2.0 version has come up. So digital is just one of the way of marketing, but your understanding is business is important. So if you want to be a digital marketing expert here without understanding business, God help you, you will not be able to successful. But there are certain part of marketing, there's certain part of digital which may or may not need understanding of business in a very deep level. Little level is important because you should understand customer behavior. Otherwise, you cannot do persona. If you cannot do persona, you cannot be a web developer. If you don't know persona, you cannot be a UX or UN artist. If you don't understand business and customer, you cannot be a content person. If you don't understand person research, you cannot be a strategist. So all these things are interrelated. It is not isolation. So another thing, Madam was speaking about her business. Many businesses are phygital, which is 50% digital, 50% physical. Sometimes 70% digital, 30% physical. Some businesses are phygital in India. India will take long time to become. We are still in a primitive state of digital. What other international brands have gone in other countries. Only 1 or 0.1% of the Indian brands are purely digital. So understanding digital is important. Understanding business is more important. So first you have to be a good marketer, good brand manager, good sales manager, good HR person, good operation person. Then digital will help you to enable your career to the next level. Number one. Number two, with half-baked digital branding knowledge or marketing knowledge, you cannot be a digital expert, right? Let little thing, like if you want to start your journey, because all of you are MBA students, because I'm not talking to bachelor's degree, I'm talking to MBA. So all of you are going to be a future leader, a brand marketer, brand director, brand marketer, CMO, so on and so forth. For that, understanding of digital business comes later. Understanding of business come on the first front level. If you try to bypass this and try to only think that digital is the very cool thing, I have a lot of certificates of digital, that's a passport to a great job. Sorry, you will lose, you will be sacked. You will not able to keep up to your level, because understanding marketing and branding is first level, digital comes the second level. Tell me, I hope I answered this question. This
Yes,
is a
sir.
myth. Most students think that.
Yes, sir. You made it very clear. In light of all these learnings, I would like to ask Asmita ma'am, in your business journey from the inception to the current time, please share some learnings for us budding business leaders, which we can use in our careers in our careers and in our life. Please share some learnings from the journey till now.
So Subhobroto has rightly said, instead of direct jumping. So nowadays, when people wants to start their own startup, or maybe people who are lived in the IT for a long time like me, would like to have a startup in IT, and they would think that, okay, if I get something great app or a great idea which can be ran through the app, would be successful. During my journey, along with my colleague, with family, we started through a great app, and then we realized that, and we made it our one of the statement, like fail fast and recover faster. So we realized that as our solution is very unique, we are working with the rural people. We are trying to get the technology to the people for whom network itself is very rare. It's not very strong as we get in urban areas. So having said that, when we work with these rural women, actually in the ground level, we actually go and meet them and we work with them. We realize that they have a lot of energy. They want to do something in their life. They are really passionate about their businesses. Only thing is they are not getting good market. They don't know how to reach to their customers. And there is a gap where we can actually come into the picture. So while getting them to their customers, we are the bridge. We are trying to find out, there could be a technology solution, there could be a physical solution, there could be a digital solution. So that we are observing, we are working on it, we are identifying, and we're trying to get the technology wherever is possible. I would like to give a simple example to explain this more. So in India, we cannot start a food business unless we have a FSSAI certificate for that particular product. Either you manufacture it, or you distribute it, or you market it. So this was the simple knowledge, simple information which the rural women, these people in the food business in the rural area, they are not aware of. And even if they are aware of it, somehow they are not getting this thing done in quite expensive manner. So when we get into this business, we really worked on the ground level, and then we got to know that these ladies are really hardworking. They really want to reach to their higher level in the businesses. So where we can help. So we ourselves researched into all the FSSAI certificate, how you can get into the, how many certificates are available, which certificate is required for whom. And then we have our own team now to get this FSSAI certificate to such a rural women for the respective food products. Now, when I come into the picture as an IT person, I start thinking, okay, today I have a dedicated team to get this done for the rural women. But in the future, I would like to have this solution digitally. What I would like to do is I would have an app which is already there. We will have it updated, which would be very simple for them, just like a WhatsApp, because when we go there, they are happily working, they are happily accessible WhatsApp. It's very simple for them. So we can have an app where they can simply go, log in, and they in their regional language, and they can simply apply for FSSAI. They can give whatever information they have, and we will give them ready-made solution. Okay, this is what you need, and this is how it will go. So this is a simple example. This is how technology can reach to the rural women. And when we work with these rural women, we are actually providing a sustainable livelihood to their villages. And we are also giving the knowledge to work in this food processing, so that would be a source of income for them, not only for this, but all the upcoming generations, which they don't know now. But in future, when we work with them and as we make them more organized along with the technology, that would go along with them to the future generations upcoming. So this is how, like, we work together, we work both technology and physical way. And our business is something which lies in between. And that is how we are trying to make and change our business strategies as and when required, because this is something very unique we are doing, who has not done earlier. And we learn through our experience. We are trying to create our own example. We are learning through it. And we are trying to make it more and more organized and more scalable. So slowly we will try to, currently we are working with different SSGs, which is self-help groups. In India, there are more than 68 million self-help groups. For now, we are working with 3 clusters in Maharashtra with around 10 SSGs. So I'm very happy to tell here that we have already enabled 300 rural women by giving them FSSI training and the FSSI certificates. And in future, our vision is to have around 1 million rural women enabled with a farm Didi. Thanks, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for these valuable lessons which all of us students and everyone present in this meeting will take away. Now, I would like to ask Sunny sir a question. But before that question, because I feel I need to share a news, not very recent but not very old news, because my question can be deemed to be somewhat controversial. Recently, the IRCTC website was hacked by a top premier institute graduate. And later, instead of arresting that person, IRCTC and the government rewarded him and incubated him in some manner, rewarded him. So coming to my main question, as Sunny sir in the first part, in the beginning of this discussion, mentioned that India also tops the chart in the number of hackers and the number of scammers. And we know that for hacking itself is a different ballgame in itself. For hacking, a person needs to know a lot of things. So to increase awareness about cybersecurity and to increase the cybersecurity, information security, and whole internet security, can India tap into these segments? Can India tap into these people, these current people who are on the wrong side of the table? Can we use their knowledge? Can we take advantage of their knowledge to and leverage upon it to build the cybersecurity infrastructure?
So I didn't get the question. You said that there are people who are working on the other side of the law. Can we use their knowledge or leverage their knowledge to create something disruptive in the cybersecurity? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So not the people who are working. So people who are working on both the sides of the law, because when we come up talk about hacking, there is a very fine line between this ethical and unethical world. So I could see there are people who are actually ethical working into big fours, and in the night they do something else. So why not a government do something for this ecosystem to ensure that we could make something very disruptive? So yes, on this lines, as far as this government is concerned, which is very proactive in nature and taking cybersecurity very seriously, by getting this data protection bill. But at the same point of time, government has also started, thinking on the other lines, which is on the offensive side of security. Why offensive side of security? Because in 2025 or maybe 2030, you will see a war which is not going to happen on the ground, but you'll see a war which will be there on the cyber, space, and that has already started happening. but the frequency of attacks will increase, the number of attacks will increase, and the political angle will get into a picture in the coming years. So government has already started establishing the infrastructure to tell you this, getting all those people to ensure that we could not just be on a defensive side of it or talk about defensive things, but we should also have our own cyber weapons. We should also have our own cyber army, which would be there at a pace where we need them. So if there could be a chance that there'll be a cyber war, they would be there with us to ensure the security of our country and attacking on the other countries. The infrastructure also. So yes, they already started doing it. To tell you a bit about it, so the Ministry of Defense has already started setting up centers in different cities. One of such centers is coming up in Ahmedabad, and second is coming up in Hyderabad, wherein they are going to focus on such capabilities. So any cyber expert, provided they can prove their knowledge, they can come in, they can showcase their skills, they can break something, and yes, they will incubate, they will fund them, they will accelerate them, and they will ensure that from the day zero they would support their ideas and make it into the reality. Yes, so they already started doing that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for this insight. And thank you, Sunny sir, Asmita ma'am, Khobragade sir, for the valuable information which you shared. Now, for the session to go ahead, I would like to hand over the baton to Yash for question answers and the session ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to the panelists for this insightful session. Through this session, we have learned that it is important for us to have a digital literacy and for its implementation towards a successful business strategy. And also what is important is for the data to be secure and is an important aspect for sustaining the data, hence the business. Also, thank you, Surat, for being a curious marketing enthusiast that you have always been. In fact, I've been receiving feedbacks from the attendees that you have covered most of their queries. Now I request Nishtha to share the thank you screen. Yes, sir. Sir, you have something to say?
No. I'm enjoying. If I have added value to all these kids, I'm very happy. I invite all of you to follow me on LinkedIn. If you have any advice, career advice, anything else, reach out to me. Happy to help.
So all the details regarding all three firms, and it will be shared with the students, and they're curious to know more about the different digital spaces and how the people have been thriving in those arenas.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
And
now I request Nishtha to please share the thank you screen, and also Karsha, you can begin with the closure of the session with a thank you note for the beautiful panelists. Yes, please.
Thank you, Ash. So,
Nisha, you can share the screen.
No, it is still showing host as disabled.
Okay. If I can do that, then I will do it. Not a problem.
No problem. I'll start till then. You can share. Okay. So, as William Arthur Ward has rightly said, feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a present and not giving it. Honorable Asmita ma'am, Sunny sir, Khobragade sir, respected Satyendra sir, our most valued guest, and my dear friends. It's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks for this wonderful panel discussion. On behalf of the Guest Lectures Committee and the entire KJ Somaiya Institute of Management, I extend a very hearty vote of thanks to all the speakers for gracing us with your virtual presence and sharing your valuable insights and opinions today. As they say, it doesn't matter where you go and what you study. What matters the most is what you share with yourself and the world. So thank you, panelists, for the enlightenment you have bestowed upon us and for sharing your great thoughts in a very comprehensive and lucid manner. Your remarkable depth of understanding of the subject made the discussion an exceptionally stimulating and insightful one. We all are highly inspired by your great words. Throughout the hour, we received n number of messages appreciating the session, and we are hoping to have many more sessions in future. We also want to thank Dr. Satyendra Upadhyay for always guiding us and providing us with this wonderful platform to interact with such eminent personalities. We would like to express our gratitude to Surat Banerjee for the smooth moderation of the session. You were impressively well prepared and extremely professional in the way you kept us all at the height of our attention. And we also appreciate the Public Relations Committee of our college for their enormous cooperation in streaming live this event, and the audience for being a patient listener. At last, thank you so much for the session. It was indeed an honor to interact with you all. Now we can log off.